Hello, everyone. Good morning again. At last, I heard an applause, so I guess we are alive and we're awake. And we have this session before our coffee break, so we'll try to be as alive as possible. So, thank you all again for being here today. Our session will be about Buzzword. I think this should be. Yes. From Buzzword to business case, strategic AI product management, we're going to talk about how we can apply AI and why we should apply it in our strategy. And this is a great follow-up from our panel earlier. It was a great context. Thank you very much for that. Because this is what we're going to be discussing. How we will not be using AI just to use AI, how we can define our own strategy so that we can use AI to actually move the right needle, to actually have the proper return on our investment. So let's start with a buzzword. We know that sometimes we're using a buzzword. We might have AI in our roadmap because we have investor pressure, we have fear of missing out, we might have press release headlines, we have to be there, we have to have our place in the competition, and stuff like that, right? So as a consequence, we might have projects that we don't have clear purpose. We might burn a lot of money. We might have a lot of circles around ourselves, right? And in the end, if there's no strategic direction, we will end up losing money and have projects dead. But the reality check is that AI is not a magic button. It's like a tool. It's like a solution. We will be talking about how product discovery is part of our game, how we can inform our strategy about this, and then how we can not allow to sink our costs, to burn our money, right? So instead of having a proof of concept installed and abundant, right, we actually have a proof of concept idea matched to a strategic direction, matched to a specific objective and key results, and then we can actually try and bring the proper results, right? This is our goal. Of course, this is a good case. It's like a typical failure path to abandon the project, which is, in my head, it's a good case because you actually understand that it's going to fail. But sometimes you are very stubborn, and then you keep trying, and you burn money, and then it fails like a lot of months after that. So let's bring the product managers up front. I know that we have product managers here. I know that the product management as a craft in a company is very important. We know that product managers are about strategy, although we know that product managers are working in tactical and strategic operations. But it's very important to have the product managers here today because they are actually the translators of hype to strategy. They know how they can use what we call AI tools, predictive analytics, sentiment analysis, detection, GPTs, whatever. Just translate it to strategy. Instead of saying, let's use AI, say what problem are we saving? Why now? For whom? All right. And if we're solving this problem, what's going to be the return? Is it going to be money? Is it going to be reputation? Is it going to be customer experience metrics, customer satisfaction, net promoter score? It depends. So the AI is only valuable if it supports the business strategy. Okay. So innovation versus hype, we have the hype-driven adoption, experiments, changing headlines, disconnect from customer needs. This is a very, very big problem. We've seen this. I have talked with many leaders in software as a service companies that saying, hey, we have to do something with AI. Okay, what is the problem? Where are we heading? I'm going to bring to you like 50 ideas for AI. Which of them can solve the problem? It's like having a new car and saying, okay, let's go drive. But what's your goal? Your goal is going to be to travel across countries, to be in the US or in Europe. It's going to go. So you can measure if you're actually going there. Okay, you're going to measure how many kilometers you did. If your goal is just to drive, then you can go around your block and then drive. And you're going to consider yourself successful. So instead, you might have a strategic adoption anchored in valid problems, all right? And they have measured return on investment and outcomes. And this is why I'm bringing forward all the product managers, because it's, and actually put myself in this. I was a product manager, I am a product manager. It's our role to translate this, and our role to bring and to bridge the gap between, like the panel said before, to bring the IT on the front line, to understand what's the business out there, to understand the needs. Okay, instead of saying the IT, hey, we have to like write in this language to build this AI tool to use this model. All right, come forward, check what the customer needs. So, as a product manager, again, we have great product manager rule, discovery first, and then technology later, which actually basically says problem first, solution later. So discovery precedes solution, and we should never start with AI. We should start with what's the problem, for whom, if this is strategic to my use case, and then you go from there. We know that AI is like a hammer right now for every nail, right? But with proper discovery, we should bring the most valuable things up to the customers. For those of you that are using product discovery, we know that it's a difficult sport. You have to do product discovery continuously, every day, every week, every month, talk with the customers, and at the same time, you have to talk with your engineers, with your designers, with your data team, because you have to bridge those two worlds together and actually see what's best for your team. And this is why we need to have the AI anchored, as we said before, to the strategy, so that product managers are AI literate to know that they can solve a problem with the tools that they have in their hands. Okay. We know where AI actually shines. Okay, I'm not going to go into this into very much detail. We have pattern recognition, we have forecasting, we have personalization, we have process automation. Everything of this is like we said before, like a hammer, where you can actually have all your nails in your product and then move forward with what product and customers and business and stakeholders and funds want. Grounding a business case is very important for us as product managers. We need to have a strong business case. Every business case, and I'm putting the AI in parentheses here because this applies for every business case, with or without AI, all right? Link to strategy. We have to have it solve a recurring and valuable problem, and that has measurable and testable outcomes. If you don't have a business case that actually proves this, if you have a product management craft in your organization, then hardly it's going to pass the bar to be promoted for a solution. At least when I was doing back a few years ago, debates and ideas with other product managers, these are the checklists to actually give the green light for every business case, for every product requirements document, for every discovery case that came on my plate. And it started ticking. Link to strategy, has financial or other outcome, does it solve the problem for the user, who's going to care? I have two business case examples. The first example is about customer experience. The problem is that we might have high cart abandonment, for example, let's say 70%. Okay, this is big. And then we say, okay, let's have an hypothesis. We have the problem from product discovery, and from solutioning, we might have many solutions, and this is just a hypothesis. AI-driven personalized recovery email boost conversions. And then we define the success metrics. Increase the recovery rate, and increase the incremental revenue. This is a good case because the product manager actually worked with engineering, worked with data. They identify the problem, they know this is a problem because they have the metrics, 70% abandonment rate, and then they say, okay, let's see how many solutions we have, what kind of solutions we have. And it shows that the AI driven personalized recovery emails might have a bigger impact. And then the game is on for the proof of concept, for the implementation, from the experimentation and the results, right? But this is where we start. And we have a second business case about operations. Let's say we have the triage of 2 full-time employees. They're working a lot so that they can solve problems that come from support, from operations internally. And then you have a solution for AI classification and auto-routing. And then you decrease the workload, you decrease the overhead, you decrease the resolution time. But again, you start from a specific problem, which is actually how many people and how much man-hours, how many man-hours are spent in operations. With all of this, we have a framework. It's not an official framework, but it's something that we can at least start working with. And for every business case, we might have 3 key questions. And again, the first one is for everything, and the two others are for AI specific. So we have the valuable and decaying problem, and then we have to question ourselves if AI outperform our solutions. Because sometimes we might want to use it, but if it doesn't outperform, actually it happened. We have in a previous project, we were using 2 different solutions. One was with AI, and the other was without AI. We saw that the solution with AI was not outperforming our regular solution. Actually, it was a benchmark. If it doesn't, then we should drop it, or actually improve it. Because we had, in that case, we had a goal to say, okay, we'll invest in AI as long as it passes the benchmark of manual, or from other solutions which is not AI, the costs are lower. Okay, and we are happier, of course. And finally, responsibly implement and maintain it. And perhaps now with the previous panel, I would add the 4th item that they mentioned, if it's secure. That's a good thing. If it's secure to build AI, if we have data governance, and if we can handle our data, our interactions, and everything that we have in our AI solution, AI modeling, in a secure way. We've been dealing, as part of my company, we have been dealing with a lot of private and sensitive data. And the first question to have from every client is, where do my data live? Which country? Which models? Of course, they are asking about GDPR and if it's in the EU or somewhere else. If the data are being used for other models and for other trainings. So this is something that every product manager can, in advance, calculate and say, okay, we're building this with this solution for this problem, and then it fits with a strategic direction. So these are the risks of hype-driven AI. We have poor return on investment. We might have frustration and churn on customers. This is more rare, but it can happen if you don't execute perfectly, especially if we have hallucinations, if we have wrong results, okay? We might have operational risks, hidden costs, data gaps, of course, security and data breaches. This is very, very important. I guess that if we have engineers and data teams here, they're saying, okay, we don't have, but okay. There might be. At least as a product manager, when I write a business case, I always have to write the risks. Of course, the risk of data breach is always there, but okay, just be careful. And finally, the reputation. AI failed here, so this is skepticism. And about the last one, we know that applying AI is like a thin line. We've seen it before, because in the last many years, we had Agile, we had product discovery, now we have AI. So every new concept, every new mindset is being criticized by the way that we apply it. If we see a company using Agile and it's wrong, you're saying that Agile failed. You're not saying that, hey, they're using Agile in a wrong way. If you're seeing a company using product discovery and see that it doesn't go well, you don't say that they might not apply product discovery well. You might say that, hey, product discovery failed, which is also wrong. So we have to be careful about AI as well, and avoid saying, okay, AI failed because we don't apply it well. in a good problem, in the right problem for our business case, for our strategy. Treat AI like any other product feature. Again, this is for product managers. It's harder, of course, to measure the outcomes. You have to define success metrics before launch. You have to measure adoption, impact, and ROI. And of course, iterate on sunset. Sunset, it might be a big word for AI, because we know in product development, for AI, you have to iterate a lot. You have to make a lot of experimentations, a lot of cycles. There are ways to actually decrease the time to deliver, time to value for AI, and time to validate. But then again, you have to reiterate and see where it goes. Okay, you have to be careful. And this is why, again and again, as the panel said before, bring the IT, bring the developers to the front to check their impact. Don't have them in a bubble in the basement working in some PCs down there. So for AI, for the strategic PM toolkit that we have here, we know that PMs have a big toolkit. I know it by experience. I know it because it's big. We're also training product managers for that, for the toolkit. And this actually gets bigger and bigger. Unfortunately, if you're a PM in the audience, I'm sorry, guys. But you have to have discovery tools, okay, interviews, journey maps. We have to have a use case evaluation framework. Like I said before, you have to have a checklist. And especially this is for the leadership of your product manager. If you have a group product manager, if you have a CPO or a director of product, you have to have this checklist, how to evaluate each business case. You have to have outcome-driven roadmaps. This is, of course, in a context where you build your product with strategy, with OKRs, with big bets. You have to have outcome-driven roadmaps. And finally, this is one more literacy that you need to build, because as product manager, you have to have engineering literacy, data literacy, perhaps marketing if you have product marketing, operations literacy perhaps. And now you have to build also AI literacy. Again, did I say I'm sorry? I know, we have to have a lot of things, but building AI literacy for the entire team, enough, at least enough to challenge vendors and engineers or to work with them or to bring the solutions closer to the problem is very important. In the last conference we had a very important question, how or if it's necessary for the entire team to be AI literate. Yes, they need to be, not only the engineers. This starts from the designers as well. It starts from the data as well, so that they know how to build the right solutions that will match the strategy and your problem, the problem that you're trying to solve. If you have a funnel, for example, that it's, let's say you have in your product a funnel of steps that the user has to take with like 5 screens, 5 buttons, and in the end they have to see like a big boom of, yeah, that's good. If you want to build that with AI to make it faster, because actually your goal is actually to reduce the time, right? Usually in conversions like this, the goal of a product manager is to actually reduce the time or the clicks that the user does. So you have to make a lot of assumptions, automations, so it's faster for the user to onboard. And because this will be faster onboarding, it will be faster closing the selling cycle of the user, and then the account manager will be happy, and so on and so forth. So in this case, you have to collaborate with the designers, you have to collaborate with the data and the engineers to see, hey, how we can make this faster. It's not only a product manager's responsibility, let's say. Of course, as a product manager, we need to have all AI conversations, not only to the team below, but to the team above. Not that we need AI, but what problem we are solving, right? PMs, again, have the responsibility to lead the conversation with clarity and confidence, because we are in the center of this. This is the biggest challenge, at least, and I have this pose because I have also in my head my experience and sometimes the trauma of trying to convince your leadership that, hey, what's the problem that we're solving? I know that I keep repeating myself about the problem, but this is what this presentation is all about. Solving the problem, the right problem, and actually remove the buzzword of AI. Perhaps I've seen that sometimes we might use AI in a wrong way or might solve a problem without AI even faster. At least as a developer, I used to have this 4 sentences mode in my head: build, make it work, make it right, make it fast, and make it small. So first of all, make it work. So if make it work is like actually with plain engineering, no AI, no nothing, much faster, then do it like this. Don't use AI just because it's AI. Then you have to have organizational alignment, as I said before. You have to align all the teams, data readiness, quality, governance, security, as I said before, engineering feasibility, integration scalability, if you have specific models, if you have cloud infrastructure, if we have to build our own model. Even now in my own company, we're evaluating whether we can build our own models or actually use external models. It's okay. It's a very good experiment. And sometimes our model might outperform external models or vice versa. It depends. There are data scientists in the room that can talk about that more. And we have the business stakeholders that have to agree on success measures. And this is one of the cases that we said before, how you evaluate the business cases so that you can move forward to get everyone on board to continue working on this. I want to close my keynote with a few things, like two slides. One, the path forward is actually build AI literacy in your teams. Start small, measurable use cases. Scale only what proves to be valuable, and then keep AI anchored to your strategy. Not the other way around. And finally, in your next round of discussion that you will do with your stakeholders, with your manager, with your CEO, with everyone else, don't say we need AI. Just said what's the problem, and we'll find the best solution to solve the problem. Because AI is not the strategy. AI should serve the strategy in the best way. That's all. Thank you very much.